everybody, it's Lindy. So today I wanted to address a question that I get quite often, and so many resellers have extremely different opinions on the subject. That subject is buy it now versus auctions. What should I do? Aside from being asked this question quite often, I have been talking a lot to Pittsburgh Mike. I'm sure some of you know who he is, and if you don't know who he is, you should go check him out. He is on a lot of different podcasts and other videos of resellers. Most familiar would be Nicole State. He does some stuff at State's Place. So go check him out if you don't know who he is. But he is going to be joining me on the live Q&A on Rockstar Flipper's channel this coming Friday. And it should prove to be a very interesting show because Mike and I sell a lot of the same items where jeans are concerned. We're both big into reselling jeans. And the way that we both choose to sell our jeans are vastly different. So it's going to prove to be a pretty good heated debate. But I'm going to let him tell his side of the story. For now, you just get mine. What do I prefer to do? Do I prefer to do auctions or do I prefer buy it nows? Well, I have a really super easy answer for this. Buy it now, all the way. I talk a lot in my videos about some of the struggles that I've had with buyers, and I've mentioned in the past that a lot of my problems have gotten better since I stopped doing auctions. The reason why I have chosen not to do auctions is because there is always that possibility that a buyer will purchase your item and then not pay. And then you're left waiting for your money. You have to open cases. You have to hunt these people down. And that's just more work. And I don't like extra work at all. By having your listings as a buy it now as opposed to an auction, that completely eliminates the possibility of having somebody purchase your item, take it off the market, and then just flat out not pay you. And for me, having to avoid any extra steps and work is a big time saver. But then there is a downside to buy it now, okay? The downside is that you could undervalue your item. Straight up. You could just completely undervalue your item. For all you know, it could be worth $50, but you only think it's worth 20. Whereas if you would have put it up for auction, then you could have probably got more money out of it. And yeah, maybe the buyer wouldn't have paid, or maybe they would have paid. But either way, you could possibly be leaving money on the table, which would hurt if you found that out later after listing a buy it now. But then on the other side of that same spectrum, you could end up undervaluing your item. If you have an item that's worth $50, but you put it up for auction for only $20, and maybe it's not the right time of year, maybe the listing didn't go up at the right time, maybe that small handful of people that wants that item just isn't looking for it at that particular time, you only get one bid and then it's sold for $20. So you lost money there too. Really, this whole buy it now versus auction is kind of a double-edged sword. In my personal experience, I have found that the items that I have access to and the items that I have available to resell, I know the true value of these items. And so because I know the true value of these items, I don't have a problem putting up a buy it now and requiring immediate payment. For me, it's just easier that way. Now, there is also the idea that if you have an item listed long enough and it's not selling, then you should put it at auction just to try to move it. You know, start your auction at a really super low price just to maybe cover shipping and your fees just to get it to move. And then that way, if it happens to sell, all you do is maybe get a boost in feedback and you've, moved a piece of merchandise. But for me, I don't think I would do that on every single listing. And I have to be honest and say, even though I kind of like the theory of putting items on auction that have been sitting in your store long enough, I have yet to do it. I haven't decided when I'm going to try it. It's kind of hard for me to decide to take the plunge. It's a little scary. I don't like the thought of either breaking even or losing money. A reason why I do feel so strongly about doing buy it now over auction is also just from my personal experiences. You know, I have had my share of buyers not pay. I've had to hunt them down. I've had my share of starting auctions lower and either breaking even or losing money. You know, I found personally that my personal sales increased when I started just doing buy it nows instead of auctions. And that's the thing, it can be different for everybody. So basically all you can do is gather information from other resellers and maybe try a little bit of everything, you know, and that's honestly kind of what I did in the beginning. I didn't know if I should do buy it nows or if I should do auctions. So I would kind of play around with it and figure out what worked best for me. And when it came down to it, the buy it nows worked the best for me. So that's what I do. But you keep on with your auctions, Mike. You're killing it. Now let's move on to a similar animal. Best offer. Should you offer best offer? Well, just as everything, I have a very strong opinion about best offer as well. Do I currently do best offer? No. Have people been trying to convince me to start doing best offer? Yes. Have I been considering going back to best offer? Yes. Have I done a best offer recently? Yes. So after hearing a lot of resellers shout in my ear that I need to be doing best offer, and I am completely aware that I do not know everything, so I am always open to suggestions, I decided to list about 5 shirts over the weekend as a buy it now with a best offer. You know, it did take me a little bit longer to do those listings just because I wasn't so sure how to price best offer items. But I will say, within 12 hours, one of those 5 items sold. Boy, am I embarrassed. Yeah, this listing in particular, I had listed a men's shirt for $14.99, I think it was. And I set up the automated best offer filters to automatically accept the best offer if it was above $13, I think, and then automatically decline the offer if it was below $11. So within 12 hours, the item sold for around $13.50, I think it was. And it was, you know, it wasn't even a full day. It wasn't even a full day. So am I going to list some more things with best offer? Yeah, I'm going to. Because that 12-hour turnaround was enough to get me interested in the process again. You see, my mentality about best offer, I'm going to explain it to you. This is why I don't do best offer. I know so many resellers love the best offer, but logically to me, it makes no sense. And let me explain why. Because if you have an item listed for 20 bucks, but you're willing to take 15, why not just list it for 15 and flip it quick and cut out the whole bantering back and forth with buyers? I mean, really, do I make sense? I think I make sense. And the other part of that is if somebody sorts their search by lowest price first, you might be willing to take $15 for that item, but because it's listed for 20, this buyer might not see it because they've sorted from lowest to highest. So they might not even stumble across your item because it's listed so much more, even though you're willing to take a less price. Then my inner cheapskate tells me if I see or best offer next to a price, I am never gonna pay asking price. Are you kidding me? So for me, it's like cutting out the middleman. If you're willing to take 15 bucks, just list it for 15 bucks, flip it, and be done with it. You know, if you know it's worth 20, list it for 20, flip it, and be done with it. To me, it seems like best offer is just adding more work. However, with this quick 12-hour turnaround, it started to get me thinking, okay, well, maybe I have it listed for 15, but I'm willing to take 13. Well, if somebody offers 14, that's an extra $1 I wouldn't have gotten. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and try doing some best offer listings. And, you know, I'll definitely let you guys know how it's going for me. But, you know, like I said, I really don't know everything. And I'm always open to listening to suggestions from other resellers because, you know, Some resellers are absolutely killing it. And so why not try things that they're doing? You know, never be so set in your ways that you're not willing to change to try to better your business. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I know a lot of you have asked if I do buy it nows or auctions, what I prefer, the pros and the cons. Well, that's about it. You know, and I'm sure that the more you learn about the business, the more you'll see that you will kind of fall into the category where you're the most comfortable. You know, something that I did forget to mention that I'm just going to throw in here now is if you are running auctions, you do have to go in and relist after a certain amount of time. You know, if you do buy it nows, you can do, you know, a 30-day duration, and you set the listing and then you don't have to look at it again for 30 days if it doesn't sell. But with auctions, you can do a 3-day, a 5-day, a 7-day, or a 10-day. And if it doesn't sell, you have to relist it again. And then you have to relist it again. And then you might have to relist it again. And then you might have to go in and change some prices or move some things around. It just, to me, auctions seem like more work. But again, I say, there are a lot of resellers that are killing it with auctions. You really just have to find what works best for you. Just take what everybody has to say and maybe try it out and see what you like best. That's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to leave it in the comments, or you can email me. My email is in the video description. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, I hope that you will. And I thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye.